All right, we started just a minute early. I'm going to go ahead and let those that can join us live. Glad to have each of you with us on this beautiful Sunday night and hope you're doing well. And looking forward to our few minutes that we have together this evening to talk about finding healing through the Lord of the Rings as narrative therapy. So give everybody just another minute or so to join in with us on our live Facebook feed and those that want to join us on our Zoom. But we're going to go ahead and get things kicked off. Again, we're so glad to have you. This is week 2 of our series of finding healing through the Lord of the Rings as narrative therapy. This is going to come to you for the next few weeks, each Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Facebook Live and Zoom. And again, we're glad that you're here and you're interested and you want to share in this journey. And I would encourage you, if you would, take these videos. They're going to be available on YouTube. Send them to people that you may think would be interested and let us know again how that we can improve and how that we're helping you this series. So we'll go ahead and get things kicked off. Just to recap, just to recap here. Okay, here we go. All right. As we talked last week, we began with Frodo's call to adventure. He discovered that the ring, a burden that he never asked for, had been entrusted to him. In the same way, we often carry struggles that we don't choose. That could be grief, trauma, or challenges that weigh heavily on our hearts. And we've talked about that through narrative therapy, we learn that our burdens do not define us. Like Frodo, we're more than the weight that we carry. Each of us began writing a prologue to our healing story, naming our ring and taking the first small step on the road to healing. Now we're going to be talking in week 2 about the fellowship, companionship, and safe places. Our theme is that healing is not a solitary journey. Just as Frodo could not carry the ring alone, our own healing requires fellowship, safe places, and trusted companions. Now, our objectives tonight will be 3. Explore the role of companionship and community in healing. Secondly, we're going to identify safe places where we feel supported. And then thirdly, reflect on how fellowship reshapes our personal story. Our framing focus comes from a passage spoken by Frodo's friend Samwise, who says, "You cannot, or you can trust us to stick to you through thick and thin, to the bitter end. And you can trust us to keep any secret of yours closer than you keep it to yourself. But this is the point here. But you cannot trust us to let you face trouble alone and go off without a word. We are your friends, Frodo." Of course, Samwise becomes very important as the story goes along because you have to have those people that come alongside of you that are willing to pick you up when you're ready to give up. Now, segment 1, we learn here that when Frodo first learns about the ring, he feels the crushing weight of responsibility. He knows he can't carry it alone, and the truth is, he doesn't have to. Sam, Merry, and Pippin refuse to let him walk out of the Shire alone. Later at Rivendell, the Fellowship is formed. 9 companions from different races, nations, and personalities. They don't always get along, but they share a purpose, and that one purpose is to stand with Frodo on his journey. We all remember this iconic scene from this narrative where Frodo stands and is willing to bear the responsibility of the ring and to take it to Mount Doom and Mordor. but he can't do it alone. He doesn't know the way and he can't handle the perils. So, of course, you have the fellowship that forms around him that will go with him all the way. So, here's a good reflection point for us. Frodo is not abandoned to carry his burden alone. Companions step in, forming a fellowship that becomes his lifeline. We or while we think about this, I want you to think about who are the people in your life who have stuck with you through thick and thin. We all have those people that hopefully stick with us regardless of what's ahead of us in our journey, and they stick with us through the rough and through the good times. One of my favorite moments in this whole story in the beginning is when Sam looks at Frodo straight in the eye and says, "You can trust us to stick to you through thick and thin to the bitter end." And this becomes prophetic, especially when you know how this winds up in the end. But Samwise goes on to say, "You cannot trust us to let you face trouble alone and go off without a word. We're your friends." So that's fellowship, that's companionship, and that's what we all need in our own stories. Now, segment two, we're going to look at reflection and a little bit of narrative therapy here. So, narrative therapy reminds us that our lives are not lived in isolation. This is what we're doing as we walk through this story, and we see that we cannot live our lives in isolation. Our stories, excuse me, are interwoven with the story of others. Healing rarely happens alone. It happens in safe places with trusted companions who walk beside of us. Think about your own life here. First, think about who has stuck with you through thick and thin. As we've already asked that question, be thinking about that. Who are the people that have stuck with you through it all? Secondly, who has given you a safe place to rest when the burden was too heavy? Who's give you a listening ear, a place where there's no judgment, where they're willing to listen to you and understand that you're maybe going through some things that they can't quite understand, but they're there to listen. And then thirdly, who do you wish you could invite into your fellowship right now? Because your healing story is not just about you. It's about, again, the fellowship around you. It's about those that you're connected with. Now, let's take time here as we consider this that you can do it tonight. You can start tonight. You can think about it through the week. But take some time tonight and through the week to draw or write out a fellowship map. Place yourself in the center and then add the people who are or have been companions on your journey. Think about three kinds of companions. Think about past companions, mentors, family, even characters or heroes who once inspired you. We all grew up on stories, we all grew up on heroes, movies, shows, books, people that inspire you. It could be historical figures, it could be your family members, your sister, your brother, a dad, a mom. It could be your kids. Maybe your kids inspire you. Present companions. Think about who in your present, your friends, counselors, people in your community, your church, those people in your social circles who support you today. And now think about future companions, people you want to invite into this journey as you continue to heal. Maybe there's people that you haven't been close to, but you get energized. You get support, and you feel like they could really make a difference in your life. So when you look at your map, ask, what surprises me, and where do I need more support? Now, here's an example of how you can do this. You can draw a map that looks like this. Of course, you can draw any way you want, but this gives you a good example of what I'm talking about. When you look at putting yourself there in the center, and then maybe just listing out examples and drawing lines and circling those who have been important to you. Maybe, again, you can write out these are people who have been in my past that may not be in my life now that you may want to reconnect with. It may be people, again, that you would like to be close to that they're the ones that are supportive, that are non-judgmental, that give you uh, the things that you need to help you move forward. So ask yourself, who has been most important on your journey? And again, are these people missing from your fellowship now? And what places do you notice that you feel most energized, or you feel like people are helping you and supporting you and giving you what you need to go along, whether it's at home, it's at church, maybe it's out taking a walk, a hike in nature. Maybe you're energized by going to the gym. Maybe it's going and seeing your therapist. Maybe it's going to work and really getting into a project that challenges you. We all have various things that help us that we can feel like life is meaningful. And there's places in our lives, there's people that are involved that we think of as we draw out these maps. So just as Frodo could not carry the ring alone, none of us are meant to bear burdens alone or in isolation. So our map reminds us that healing happens in the right places with the right people. Segment 4, we're talking about group connection. Again, I'd love to hear from you. Again, who's in your fellowship? Who's helped you carry the burden when the road is heavy? If you want to share some of that in the comments section below, do that. If you have more questions, or maybe you think of maybe places or uh, types of people that you think we should add into this, please just put that in and let me know. Let me know what you think. Now, as a closing reflection, I want to remind you of the words of Lady Galadriel, who once told Frodo that even the smallest person can change the course of the future, but none of us are meant to do it alone. So you may feel like you're just a small part of something that's insignificant. But again, just reminds you that the smallest person can change the course of the future. And again, taking that small step forward can change everything for you. This week, I invite you to lean on your fellowship. Call a trusted friend. Write that mentor a thank you note. Somebody who has helped you, inspired you, gotten you through the worst parts of your life. Maybe you just haven't thanked them for that. Maybe you've thought about it and you'd like to just tell them what they've meant to you. Take some time to maybe do that this week. Spend time in a place where your healing can grow. Maybe you need to get out in your yard. Maybe you need to just take a walk. Maybe you just need to make a phone call. Maybe you just need to text somebody that you know that you need to reconnect with. And remember, again, you're not defined by your burden. You're shaped and you're strengthened by the fellowship that surrounds you. So, what do we want to take away tonight as we wrap this up? We want to take away the fact that we heal best, not in isolation, but in fellowship. By mapping our companions and naming our safe places, we begin to see that our story is not ours alone. It's shared, it's carried, and it's sustained by others. So as we close out, I remind you next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here, Facebook Live, we'll continue with week 3. We'll be looking at shadows and trials, facing loss and fear. Until then, may you walk with courage, and may your fellowship remind you that you're never alone. So I hope you have a great week. Good night, and See you. If you need something, please let me know right in the comments section, or let us know if you've enjoyed this and what we can do again to bring some things to you that are encouraging. So have a great week.